Welcome to CASEA Dialogue, the video podcast brought to you from CASEA BC that aims to bring businesses across 16 countries of Central Asia and Southeast Asia region. A safe space where we invite industry heads, market leaders, and entrepreneurs to come on the show as CASEA loggers to share insights, industry tips with all our CASEA friends watching or listening in. And also with the intention to inspire, open up new conversations to ignite possibilities to dream again. And if you're a CASEA member, you will have access to the VIP lounge where you will receive mindset tricks that have helped them succeed in these trying times. But most importantly, offer suggestions on how you can scale and transfer across the 16 countries with sensitivity and finesse. Location, courtesy of Ikigai at the River Walk. Hello CASEA friends and members. Welcome back to another edition of CASEA Dialogue. And today we have Man and Chrissie. So we're the founders of Co-Curator, and we are also, the business directors of the creative business vertical for CASEA BC. So today is going to be a little bit different. We're messing it up a bit from our usual format, and more so because we are going to be interviewing each other. We are also the creators of CASEA Dialogue.
Yes.
And in saying that, it's probably going to be extremely confusing for people listening into this podcast without picture, because we're going to be interviewing each other. So anyway, without further ado, let me introduce Man.
Hi everyone, I'm Man.
Yes. So he is indeed my co-founder and partner in crime for Co-Curator. And a little bit on the profile of Man. You're a Leica ambassador, a speaker and instructor for the past 3 years, associate lecturer for Glasgow School of Art Singapore, as well as Singapore Institute of Technology for DCIM course, a prolific cinematographer, fashion and commercial photographer of luxury brands, magazines of both local and international brands. You photographed notable names like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Diane Kruger, and Serena Williams. Not only that, with your Masters in Arts, you're a practicing fine artist who has not only created exhibitions in our local space, you talk the talk and walk the walk, and are relevant and current in every aspect of your field. In your community, while you create exciting fine art exhibitions in outdoor areas as well as indoor spaces. And whatever free time that you have, you also take the time to coach and mentor budding photographers in your wake. This is a very impressive list.
Thank you, Chrissie.
Where do you find the time to do all this?
I guess everything runs through my blood and my passion towards the visual arts, right? So since young, since I was in school, I studied filmmaking, and since then I've never turned back. And yeah, anything to do with visual arts, because I don't really read much actually. I don't read much because I spend my whole life looking at images, watching films, and so the whole art of telling stories through visuals, through the eyes, through lighting, through colors, through how the way the characters are, the way they look, how a scene looks, has always been in me, to speak by showing and not by speaking. Yeah.
So at this point in time, I'm going to just dive a little bit deeper because you already started the ball rolling, and this is also our format. I want to get to know the real Man. Can you tell us more about Man, the man?
Well, I guess this one you have to ask a lot of my students that I teach. Because I think in school, some of them find me pretty strict, or I'm too serious, or things like that. But when they start to know me or work with me, they think I'm actually full of crap. sorry for the language, but this is how we speak. This is how creatives, we all are very honest with each other, and we always speak fun, make jokes and out of everything, and always lighten the mood. Similarly to the way that we work or I work, I like everything to be a bit more lighthearted, right, and not be too serious in everything that we do, because that's why we get into this industry in the first place, right? To enjoy what we do. So I can see that I'm pretty fortunate to be able to find something that I love and make a living out of it. Yeah, I guess so.
No, I'm totally in line with you because, you know, I like to joke that we reject reality and that's why we try to create more of it, more
Exactly,
of our own.
right. So you know, life is like a dream, right? And
Yes.
we create dreams for people as well, through visual images, through films, through pictures, and that's what we do because
Yeah.
we live the life like that.
Exactly, and you know, but with that great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Because we also have that responsibility because we are creating the environment where people will be able to get in touch and, you know, find inspiration instead of you know, built from fear mongering, which is very evident today. I guess that's why we're also in creative business vertical with CASEA BC, because we want to change this landscape from the inside out.
Exactly.
Okay, that is really interesting to find out, but I also do want to add a little bit for just our friends, our CASEA friends out there. Here's a little secret about Man. He does not eat any vegetables, only meat.
What is this going to do with the interview? It's true that I don't eat plants, vegetables, or fruits. The only food I eat is durian, correct. I guess that helps me look young, or the collagen that I take in from the animal fats.
Okay, let's move very quickly on to business. So, knowing that you are, well, a co-founder of Co-Curator,
Correct.
can you tell us a little bit about that and how this actually can tie in with CASEA BC?
So of course, Chrissie yourself, you know, approached me, you know, 2 years ago, right? Talked to me about the whole idea of doing something that actually matters to the industry, and this has always been in my blood too, you know, because when we have worked long enough in this industry and we know the pain points of being in this industry, and we want to give back to the younger generation on how to pursue this passion of theirs without being shortchanged, right? So we actually know a lot of, for me, you know, I teach a lot, so I know all these are our budding photographers, freelancers, graphic designers, so basically creatives in general. You can be an illustrator, you can be a 3D modeler, you can be a photographer, filmmaker, it doesn't matter. So the creative industry is actually a very, very small industry, and we have a very tight community, and we need to help each other out. And somehow the work sector, right, or the economy, right, doesn't really view us as we have jobs, right? In fact, a lot of times, you know, my family or my relatives still think that I'm jobless or I'm just doing things that I like and I'm just working like as a hobby. But that is not true. You see, it's just somehow we have this industry, or these people have this stigma or this mindset that people who pursue what they love are actually not really working and they're just doing it as a hobby. But that is so not true in our own industry, and we can actually make a very good, decent living, you know, sometimes, most of the time, out of it. And we try to protect our fellow creatives, right? Because a lot of times the young generations are, you know, they are taken advantage of, because people see their skill set or what they do as a hobby, and they don't really want to pay good money for it. But actually, we take a lot of time, effort, years of training to be where we are, right? So it doesn't mean that you do what you love, you are actually not working. So that's totally untrue.
I think this is also why we're trying to rebrand the whole idea of naming ourselves freelancers. Because once you hear the word freelancer, it's almost like an open invitation to get undercut, you know what I mean? And if we can, we're trying to create this rebranding as creative entrepreneurs. And I think, you know, moving into this area, because it's also something that is widely understood, it's creating a business about creative design thinking, human design solutions. And in this stage, in this world, in this landscape right now, it's evident that this is extremely important because it covers all areas. Our entertainment, you know, our environment, and, you know, the way that we do businesses has also pivoted into, you know, quite focused design thinking solutions.
Yes, everything around us is all about art, actually.
Yes.
Right? The clothes that you wear is designed by a fashion designer. The drinks that you drink is designed by a mixologist. right? Also, even the bars you go to are also designed by interior designers as well. Even your house, the things that you eat, the things that you wear, the movies you like to watch, the music you listen to. We are just surrounded by art, just that people don't see that. People see it as an entertainment, right? People don't see us as bosses of our own businesses. So when you use the word freelancer, people will think that you're just a part-timer.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the stigma that we're trying to change in our
Exactly.
market today, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because if you really think about it, the environment that we all design, it really influences our mood, our productivity, our management, how we actually network or move, the human motion, and how we actually, behave. So if we're in a good mood, if we have, maybe even designing the way that we actually walk through the city in malls, in our own houses, this is also how we can create a much more efficient lifestyle that will help us to get into a better state of mind.
Your products, your ergonomics products, the chair you sit
Exactly.
on, the table you use, it's all design art.
And
Yeah.
health, it just has a
Right.
knock-on effect into every single area. And I think we really need to get this word out there. So, yay for this podcast. I mean, this is really interesting, right? I mean, the way that it all ties back into why we created Co-Curator in the first place. And we wanted to just give this platform to creatives, not just in Singapore, but in our region, because we know that being able to touch on a cloud-based workforce, we would be able to bring people closer. I mean, the ultimate vision is to enable access to collaborations to create jobs or design solutions that help out in our sustainability mission and our goals and our drives for good. And that's what we can pretty much do, to help out in our economy as well. So Man, why don't you tell us, share a little bit about what is the mission, our vision for Co-Curator?
Because I think every one of us knows that something is missing or something is wrong in our industry, or how people perceive us and how our freelancers are struggling in a lot of ways. So I guess this whole idea of doing Co-Creator is to actually take a step forward and to really do something to give back to them, right, to our dear creatives. I think the first of all is to promote our freelancers, right, to actively help them out in terms of job searching, and to push their names and portfolio out to potential customers, clientele bases who are looking to. I think for our whole industry, actually, it's supported by advertising, actually, right? Because if your work or if your products, services are not even advertised or put out there, right, you will get them business. So then you still need to fall back to creatives, right, for the ideas. So how do you actually promote your brand, your product, your services? What kind of visual assets do I need? What kind of social media assets do I need? What's the KPI of your brand, right? Of how do you sell a certain thing? So all this actually goes back down to the creatives.
Yes.
So in a way, we need to help creatives right now to actually promote their portfolio and to showcase what they can actually do for these potential brands and clienteles that they can actually work with us, work with them actually.
It actually goes back in on itself. It's like Inception in a way, right? Because it's storytelling for storytelling. We have to help these creatives create better storytelling so that they can then move on to promoting them, to help them get businesses, to help other businesses do creative storytelling.
Yeah.
We are our worst blind spots, so we need to help our areas.
So I guess both of us, we are educators ourselves, and we are really passionate about giving the young generation a good insight into the industry and help them grow as creatives themselves, giving them the skill sets that's required. So again, the way that we teach our students are also very different from a lot of other kind of programs and courses, because it's actually very tailored and customized. Because every creative is different, right? Their talents are all different, and we help them groom them in the way they actually hope to be, right? So there's no fixed matrix in terms of their.
Yeah, it's more bespoke in every direction.
That's what creative is.
Yes,
right?
exactly. We get to know what's the pain points. And
it's like you cannot teach a singer to sing the same way for every singer that you teach in singing school.
Then they're not going to be able to stand out. We won't be able to promote their USP.
Exactly. Yeah, unique selling point for each individual.
Yeah.
So this is actually what we're trying to help in our Co-Curator. for these budding creatives. And in the long run, we could also supply the different kind of workshops and tutorials and talks by our industry partners, industry creatives to help them.
I think moving along for the academy part as well for the future plans of co-curator, this also gives people an ability to, well, they're networking with the creative industry already, so they can also mentor other mentees, because this is something that's synonymous to creatives. We always want to give back to our industry, because that's how we started out, and we always receive some sort of coaching, where we start out, and we always want to be able to return the favor moving forward. But
Exactly.
knowing creatives are not left-brainers. We are, by and large, all right-brainers. That's why we're creative. And that's our strong suit. That's what our expertise. Co-creator also aims to be able to help people manage their businesses as well, right? Because we want to put it all in one place where it's seamless from bookings to transactions to payment options, where everything is recorded, creating opportunities for finishing the contracts that we can actually look at, so that everything is written down in a very easy, facilitated in a very seamless way. And if it's all on this one platform, then you can very easily share all your portfolios and say, hey, what about this style? You don't have to go home and go and look through all your portfolios to try to send out another viable option or a stylistic point of view to help people understand the possible angles that we can create for design or media or arts. And I think this is one of our strong suits. This is our USP, right? We're going to be able to not just to promote and help them tell their own personal stories, but also give them the opportunity to be able to manage their businesses, help out a little bit with that left brain, HR, management, and PR areas as well. So, yeah.
Right. Because I guess a lot of creatives, they do not know how much their work or their skill set is being valued, right? So it's different from you buy a product or of a supermarket, right? What do you choose this one A than the other one B, right? Sometimes it's about branding, about the history, about the brand identity of the company. So I guess for creatives, again, each individual one of them, they are their own brand, right? We are not creating something that's a mass market, right? Produce so if this thing costs $1, everyone buys this for $1. So we are not creating products like that. So it's very unique, very tailored in terms of every individual has their own value in terms of the work they create. And co-creator comes in to help manage that, right? Because I also faced a lot of difficulties when I was younger. How much do I charge my client? How much is my time worth, right? So all these are the issues that I face, and then the client used my work for how many countries, what's the territories, how long are they using my work for? So all these things are actually burning questions inside those creative freelancers, especially for the younger generation. They do not know how much their work is valued, or are they taken for a ride? Am I overcharging? Am I undercharging? So co-creator comes in to help coach that and to manage their expectations as well, and also the client expectations as well, right?
I think that's a very important point that you brought up there, because it's also one of the things that most people don't dare to talk about in our culture, right? It's almost rude to talk about money, but it's actually the first thing that you have to actually put out there, so that everybody knows the expectations and knows where we're working from. I think it's actually one of the things that we look forward to, and one of the first few questions that we ask. So this is a real game changer if we are able to make this just seamlessly work for them, to help them manage these workflows and SOPs. So, above and beyond just promotions and management, I think one of the key things that we have in our sites is, the vision and the mission that co-curator wants to do. And that's also tying back into how we are bringing this back into CASEA BC. We're finding opportunities and ways, for creatives to collaborate and really find accessible, sustainable design solutions for good. And I believe creatives are all very giving individuals. I mean, we would bend over backwards just to please our clients, to help people get the best out of their products. We want to always be giving. That's something that's evident in almost all creatives, whether you're an artist, a designer, or in media. And this being our strength, a lot of times it's also our weakness. So after having been burnt so many times, a lot of us actually withdraw whenever there comes collaboration projects, because we're always thinking like, sure, I would love to jump on this project, but who's going to foot the bill? So what we want to do is we want to create this avenue where we create projects that we can also get funders and investors to invest in projects for good, thereby fulfilling this inner drive and inner need for creatives that want to create projects for design solutions that help our economy, help our ecosystem, and basically help business models as well. Yeah. So I'm going to take the opportunity to throw the ball back to you, Man. How do you see co-curator coming back into CASEA BC?
So basically, why we actually collaborate or join CASEA BC is because they are a very interesting model for a business chamber. So they form an alliance with actually the other 16 countries of Central Asia and Southeast Asia. And I believe that can actually bring a lot of job opportunities to our co-curators, the members of a co-curator, right? Because when you form alliances, when jobs opportunities comes out, you're going to get more packaging design work, you're going to get branding work, interior work, or even tourism work, and things like that. And all this require the help of creatives like ourselves and our members, right, to produce interesting content for them and to help them move forward. As we know that the whole landscape of art and creatives are constantly changing. Everything is going through social media now, and people are using AR, VRs, especially social media right now, both kind of video content, photo content. So I guess we have to correct people and the best people to do that for them.
Yeah, I think that's right on point. In fact, I think this gives us a great new opportunity of creating new dynamic experimentations as well, because we don't know what we can do until we trial and error across 16 countries.
Correct. I think the possibility is pretty endless. Anything can come up. So to me, that is very, very exciting.
Yes, exactly. I can't wait, actually.
And working with also with developing countries, I also give us a lot of opportunities to do something new for them, great for them, and to help them move everything forward in their economy also.
Yes.
And also we can also tie back to the whole idea of sustainability and improving the lives of individuals and in those countries as well.
I think for co-curator and CASEA BC, we're also in line because we're all trying to create businesses for good.
Exactly.
And with sustainability goals in mind, this actually helps us to move our mission forward faster.
Yes. So we actually target. So we are actually very interested in projects that deals with poverty, with pollution, sustainability, sustainable materials, energy. Yeah. Yeah,
sustainable energy is also, huge on our area of interest. But moving forward, there are so many things that we would like to create, and if you feel that this resonates with you, this is also a nice shout out to get in touch with us so that we can actually collaborate for a better future. I also think this is a great opportunity for our creators to get the feedback of experimentation, because a lot of our clients that we're more used to, the risk appetite is quite low. But seeing that we are also moving to a very new area with CASEA BC, there is opportunity for more dynamic creative designs. So, I think we can wrap this portion up now, and I'm going to throw the hosting board over to Man, and you can take over from here. So part 2.
Okay, so Chrissie, so besides being a co-founder of co-curator with me, you also had a life before entrepreneurship. You were a filmmaker, so both in 2D and 3D variety. So one of your films, Silent Scenes, won Best Film for Korean International Short Film in 3D. So if you don't know, Chrissie has Korean blood in her. A Gold Ramai Award in the Houston World Fest, and an honorable mention in the Environment, Health and Culture Film Festival in Jakarta. Screen at Cannes caught Metrage for 2013, Singapore Airlines 2013, Passion Arts Festival for Substation Film Festival 2014, International Film Festival of Cinematic Arts IFFCA, Los Angeles 2014, VID-C Spotlight 2016. There is a lot of things going on in your life before.
Yeah.
So why do you actually not go into carry on to do filmmaking and do this with being an educator and being co-curator in CASEA BC?
Well, I think life took on many pivots along the way, and one of which was I got married, and we wanted to start a family, and I think you also know that it's almost impossible to be able to do that successfully if you keep a nice balance, work-life balance when you're in film. It's totally passion-driven, and if you're not careful, like as we are, both workaholics, you can easily run yourself into the ground. So I thought that it was time for me to take a break, and it was also an introduction from a very good friend of mine called Boy Kwong that he brought me into the area of education. So I've been teaching for about 12 years now, and I got hooked.
And through you, I also got into education actually.
Yes. It's a small world. And it's just something that I believe what they say is a calling, and I found it extremely rewarding to be able to help people grow and change and see how they can also create storylines and build something, and you can see that in their eyes, where they create something wonderful and beautiful that actually communicates to a wider audience. We as educators, we know that what we do helps people amplify what they're trying to say. Like, communication is not just between two people. The area of media, design, and business is basically a platform where you can amplify and have one to many. And this is something that I found to be, a great starting point to move from education to be able to help more people get a handle on these tools, which is actually really simple to do. And I think we also have a knack for cutting the crap and cutting the fat and getting down to exactly what works. We're quite good with pivoting and using human psychology and behaviors as ticks to help us to get the most efficient way and creating the best storytelling. So it was a natural progression, and also a byproduct of that, I have 2 wonderful kids, and there's no turning back after that. But of course, all good things must come to an end. My little stint in Glasgow School of Art is coming to an end, and I wanted to find a way to be able to give back. So
to be still involved in coaching
yes.
the younger generation, yeah.
And also to create a platform, because what we are good at, both of us, we're good at being aggregators, right? We like to matchmake people. We like to in business, by the way, and do collaboration projects. Build things together. We just like to build and make. So it's just a natural progression to move on to creating this platform to enable that. But I think it was also a little bit of greed that we wanted to do it on a much larger scale. It started because I wanted to have this platform for my graduating batch of students last year when we were in the heat of COVID-19 pandemic, and it was just a real pain to see them unable to have that degree show. So I thought, okay, let's take it online, and it started from there. It moved from that into a small cozy network of creators and co-creators of about 400 to 500 at this point in time, organically. We didn't do any marketing, just us talking about it online on our social media platforms. But now that we're trying to really get organized and move it into phase 2, where we create job matching opportunities, really get this to be, what we can retire with, perhaps. Move into a more progressive way of doing business, and in a way be the case study that we can build with CASEA BC and then move it into the 16 countries as well.
I'm always surprised how you actually manage your time. I think I told you a lot of times. So you're a mother of two, you have family to take care of, and you are teaching in school, and you are doing co-creator with me, and you are also now working towards the marketing content for CASEA BC, right? So I think our eye bags actually explain a lot of how much we sleep a day.
Yeah, sleep's overrated. No, I think that, with anything with, to be done with passion, it also it doesn't feel like work. I think you and I know that when we put our heart and mind into something, there's always a way, right? And I'm also looking at it as something that I'm building for my children's future. It's something that I believe can create a much better, sustainable way of building businesses for the economy. And I think that alone, is enough to drive me into, working a little later into the night, having our meetings at 12 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, we are all dreamers, just that we don't sleep.
Dreamers without the need for sleep. That's a new way of putting it. Yeah.
So tell us more about CASEA Dialogue.
Right, so CASEA Dialogue is probably the first project that we're throwing into CASEA BC. And as you know, we're hitting the ground running from the ground up. We're putting the pieces together as we run. Really like to say, you're fixing the plane as we're flying. And I find that to be extremely beautiful, the way that you're actually looking at trying it out. This is something that I really respect Rudy for creating, is the concept that we are not afraid of failure. We're always looking to fail forward. So with that comes this notion of experimentation, right? We are willing to put ourselves out there to work and try it out, to test it out in real life. And this is what it is. It's the biggest experimentation of our lives, right? We'll create the content, we'll throw it out, test it in the market, see what comes back, and tweak it as we go along. This is really strong because it's also giving people, our members and the 16 countries, an example, an invitation, an example to say that we don't need to try to create the perfect business solution. We have to just start. We have to be confident to make and trust in the resources and how we actually lean on each other to create better collaborations for a better future, right? And CASEA Dialogue as an experimentation point. I mean, we are still moving the format and we're redefining it as we go along, and we don't mind tweaking and changing according to the feedback that we get from our members and our friends. So failing forward, giving that culture that we are okay to fail, and that is the real way we grow, is a huge difference to what we're actually used to. So, I love the concept of work in progress, and that's where we also build it into, showing work in progress in Co-Curator as a platform, right? Because we believe that there's actually a lot more value and a lot more meat when we actually can see how the design has evolved. And this is the same with Co-Curator and CASEA Dialogue. But beneath that is something even stronger. We're building it on the model of an educational-based marketing model, which basically helps to create, accessibility for our audience, or for anybody watching in, to show them that we are just real people trying to do something together, to build businesses together so that we can all prosper and rise together at the same time. And creating this culture of peer teaching and peer coaching and sharing insights and sharing tips of how we do business, the trials that we had to get through and how we actually did those, and how we pivoted through COVID-19 pandemic. These are all valuable insights that some people don't like to, in our culture, air dirty laundry, but it's actually learning points where we can actually help each other grow. And this educational-based model of marketing gives us the opportunity to show our vulnerabilities so that we are accessible, people of that, just like you and me, that are just looking for a better way of surviving, thriving, and doing business together for good. Because I think that's something that we want to do, right? We want to change that landscape. And we want to get people out of this model of scarcity into a model of abundance, knowing that we have each other's backs.
I guess this is the DNA for creatives. You
Yeah.
know, we experiment a lot, we try a lot, and we have a dream to accomplish. And I guess it's about taking this DNA and putting it onto a business platform right now for us.
And also being okay to look foolish or make mistakes online, and not really caring to edit so much that it looks too polished, because that's not us, that's not real life. So that's educational based marketing model.
Thank you for sharing about educational based marketing. How do you think all this ties back to CASEA BC?
Well, CASEA BC actually has a very interesting model. More often than not, we're also trying to create this educational wing, which is the CASEA Academy. But it's also about how we're creating case studies of business models from our members doing collaborations together in Singapore. And from those case studies, we'll get the feedback of how to improve it, how to tweak it, and bring it across, scaling it across into 16 countries. These are the 10 countries in Southeast Asia, as well as the 5 countries in Central Asia plus Mongolia. So understanding the nature of how culture, tradition, and just corporate governance differs from state to state, country to country, we also have to be a lot more sensitive in how we create marketing material and promote all these businesses to make them, to help them move into these new territories. These are emerging markets that we're talking about. So this is something that is going to be needing a touch of finesse and sensitivity as we break into differing, communities. What Co-Curator can offer is, a way to create bespoke marketing models, create different ways that we can help businesses grow. So what the creative business vertical is trying to do is we're trying to create a more bespoke model of how we can shape and design these case studies and help them to, scale and transfer into 16 countries. And that's basically it.
Thank you.
So thank you for your time with us and thank you for sharing this space with us today. So if this actually resonates with you and you want to find out more, please just click on the link below and get in touch. Also, as always, like, share, comment, give us feedback so that we can learn, that's what it's all about. So looking forward to seeing you in our next edition. Thank you.